Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. McDonald, I asked the following two initial questions going to fitness to serve of all nominees to appear before any of the committees on which I sit. I will ask you the following two questions. Since you became a legal adult, have you ever made unwanted requests for sexual favors or committed any verbal or physical harassment or assault of a sexual nature?
No, Senator.
Have you ever faced discipline or entered into a settlement relating to this kind of conduct?
No, I have not.
Mr. McDonald, it's more than ironic that a president guilty of 34 felony counts of fraud proudly announces a, quote, a war on fraud, places J.D. Vance, Vice President Vance, in charge, and nominates you to lead a new anti-fraud division. Now, we all acknowledge that that fraud needs to be prosecuted and that there is a lot of it, and you're now going to head the division. And if fraud, as you recognize, is such a massive problem, and there are other Democratic senators who have raised the concern that if fraud is such a massive problem, why would the very divisions within the DOJ that were in charge of prosecuting civil and criminal fraud, why were they disbanded? And again, I mentioned going after crypto crime, which is massive, going after tax fraud, also massive. So one wonders, you know, I think you can understand why a major concern of ours would be how independent your anti-fraud division will be when all these other divisions that were supposed to be prosecuting fraud and all of the experience that the attorneys there had, they get disbanded, but you get created, and your division, not you get created, but your division will be followed by J.D. Vance. So it's kind of hard to understand how it is that you will be so independent of the president. We have a president who expects the people he nominates to do his bidding, including to let him do what he wants, including members of the U.S. Supreme Court. So, in spite of the fact that the DOJ mission statement, which I just checked on today, says that it is characterized by the values of independence and impartiality, it's hard for us sitting here to think that you can be all that independent. So if the president, vice president, or any member of the White House, so not to mention Pam Bondi, asks, suggests, or hints to you to investigate any of the president's perceived enemies, would you do so? Yes or no?
Senator, respectfully, I disagree with much of what you asserted in the lead up to that question.
Well, the lead up to the
professionals in the Department of Justice who are working on crypto fraud, for example, are in the Department of Justice.
You know, this is not my, I'm reclaiming my time. The setup to the question goes to the impartiality of this new division that has been created to combat fraud. And I think that there are enough concerns raised as to how independent you will be. And I'm just asking you, if the president says go after so-and-so for fraud, would you do so? Yes,
Senator,
or no?
Senator, as I was mentioning, the individuals who were doing crypto fraud, that work is still ongoing within the Department of Justice.
You are not answering my question, which says to me that, sadly, even though you have up to now been an impartial, what I understand is relatively impartial and non-political, you're now placed in a highly politicized division. And we already know that the president considers the Department of Justice to be his law firm, Pam Bondi to be his lawyer. You are down the chain. I don't see how you sit there and tell us that you're going to be independent, much as you might want to be, but I have concerns about that. You know, we have a president who accepted a $400 million plane from Qatar. Does that sound to you like a bribe or a fraud to you?
Senator, with respect to your prior question, I am a career federal prosecutor.
This question?
I am a career federal prosecutor. I follow the facts. I apply the law. Those are the two considerations that come into play for me in every case, including in the great state of Hawaii, where I served as a special prosecutor on very significant cases
Yes, so
in
you
your
follow-
state and protected the
Again,
community
reclaim my
and the
time.
citizens of Honolulu.
You follow the facts. Great. That's what we want. That's what I would expect a prosecutor to do. You follow the facts, you apply the law, you prosecute the people that are committing fraud, not doing the bidding of a president who will expect you exactly to do what he wants and to go after the people he considers his enemies. We know that to be
Senator
true.
Moody.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Senator